Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be introducing some new products from my Etsy shop, and I have everything prepped and ready to go, so it's not a super long video, so we'll just get into the first card. This is from my Heart Shapes cut file pack, and I'm just going to assemble a card. This is going to make it look like it's a chocolate box almost, with bow, ribbon, and then I used one of my cut files from last year to cut out the words "Be Mine." And all these little pieces I've already assembled the layers. I cut 3 layers of the Be Mine and glued them together already, just to save some time again. For the background, I'm going to be using some honeybee pattern paper that comes in. It's a tonal gray pack, which is good for backgrounds when you don't want to add a lot of color, but you want to just keep it simple. So I think I'll just start with the background actually. I'm going to pop it up on some foam tape. I'm going to be using the Big Mama foam tape as usual. I love this stuff. The first layer done. For this next layer, I cut out the heart for the base. I actually cut it out in a lighter brown cardstock, and I just ended up using a darker brown alcohol marker just to color it in, because this was closer to the color that I desired. And I'm going to do the same with this bow, but I wanted to save that to show you guys what I'm going to do with it. So this darker red color that I have, it's again not dark enough for what I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna take that, and I need the center pieces. And then, so for these darker pieces, I'm just going to use a darker red marker and color in this so I get the desired color. Just real quick coloring. And it's good to start with just a color base, because you don't need to use as much ink. If I did red on a white cardstock, you would get like a completely different color, and maybe that is what you want, but that seems like it's similar to what the cardstock I was going to use, so it's good to start with this colored cardstock and then just add more color if you need it. And then I'm actually going to add a bit more shading to this ribbon just to give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to take this and just kind of like feather it out from the middle, almost to make it look like it has folds in it. Okay, and then I'm going to add a bit of from the edge, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I might use a colorless blender just to blend it out a little bit in between. Again, I don't go for perfect blends. Sorry if I feel a little stuffy too. I have a cold right now, so it is the season here in Canada for colds. Colorless blender. This is just going to help smooth it out just a little bit, but still keep that dimension that I'm looking for. Now I can't even tell where I started. Okay. There. Okay. And then I'll just wipe this off on a scrap piece of paper. Okay, now I'm going to assemble the bow. So to assemble this bow, I'm just going to flip this over. I'll clean it after. So what you want to do is take your top layer of the bow, glue it to this base layer. And the reason I did layering is just so that it gives it a little bit more dimension and interest. Sorry, I'm probably off camera right now. But you don't want to glue it right to the bottom or right to the top. You just want to make sure you line up this middle section at the top, and then this kind of folds in just so it gives you the shadow on the inside of the bow and at the bottom of the bow. Okay, and then the middle layer goes here. You want the dark first. And then your lighter color goes top. And then this one you do want to align along the top just so that the shadow layer is at the bottom. It's not completely rounded, so it is a little bit difficult to see where it lands, but it will kind of fit anyway. You want to put it in there. It should be a little bit more centered, but I think that looks okay. And then we'll glue the bow. Let's glue the bow to the base first. And in the cut file example I show on my Etsy store, it shows it with both the 8 sections and then the 4 sections. So if you want, you can just cut out these middle sections here so you have like a cross bow, but I like the 8 section just because it's a little bit more color and interest. So that's what we're going to use today, but it's easy enough just to cut out the sections you don't want and make a more simple bow if you have another like maybe pattern paper in the background that you want to show off. So it would be good to like maybe have less on top. That's up to you how you use your cut files, but this is how I'm using mine for today. Just adding a bit of glue, making sure to cover all the edges here. And then to line it up, I'm going to be using the bottom tip and then this section at the top, and then the rest of it should just lay in place. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to add our bow to the center. Just use my stick tool. Okay. And then you have a quick and easy heart-shaped chocolate box if that's what you want it to be. And then I'm going to add some more foam tape to this so I can prop it up on the back of my card. That should be fine. Okay. And then I'm going to put this on the card at a bit of an angle. So I want it maybe like that. A little bit lower down. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and now we're gonna put the Be Mine sentiments on there. So I'm just gonna lay that out. And this cut file is something I launched last year. It's in a few pieces. Just because I don't like to make my cut files, like force it to be together where it wouldn't be. So if I was to make it, I would either have to make a join here somewhere, or I would have to like put it together, and then you might lose the sentiment here. So I decided to keep it separate. And then the dot for my eye is around here somewhere. Hiding. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring out my T ruler to make sure that this will be straight. And then I think I want it nestled in here a little bit. Like right there. Maybe I'll move it over just a little bit more. So it's not as off-centered. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna glue these down. Just adding a little bit of glue to the back, not too much. I don't like it to squeeze out. I know it's matte when it's dry, but you can still somewhat see it sometimes. I'm gonna move it over just a little bit more. There we go. And I'll put the eye. Some of these pieces do become a little finicky. And there's this small. Okay. Before I lose this, I'll just add the tittle. Perfect. And the next piece, I don't like to use the reverse tweezers very often actually, so I always pick things up with my hands. I find it easier to work with my hands than extra tools when necessary. Okay, that looks fairly evenly spaced now. I'm just going to use an acrylic block just to push that down a bit. Okay, and that's basically the card for today. I am going to show you another card on top of this, but I'm also going to add a bit of bling to this card because it needs a little something. So we'll just use Studio Katya's gold foil confetti. Okay, so our second card for today is going to be a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch squared note card, top folding using that tonal gray pack from Sunny Studios, which I'll link in the description down below. And then I'm going to use the rainbow hearts cut file that I have that's also included with the larger heart that we just used for the last card. I actually cut the same card base but in white just for the pieces of the heart. Because they're going to be separated. I left them on my brother's scan and cut sheet just so that I can color them in with alcohol markers because I didn't want to cut them all out in colored cardstock. So I'm just going to color these in quickly with my alcohol markers while they're on the sheet. It makes it a lot easier. I need to get my fingers dirty. And with the, you get a bit of a texture when you use markers. So it gives it a little bit more interest than the standard cardstock. So red, orange. I'm just going to do these in a rainbow color for today, but you can really do them in any color you want. You could do all reds and pinks. You could do alternating, so do a dark red and a lighter red. You could do it in golden colors, whatever you want. Just for today, I'm doing rainbow colors. I'm going to use a lighter green. And then a darker green. And then I'm going to use a teal color in between. Before going into my blue. Just be careful not to hit the other colors. They are pretty close together. And then a purple. Oh, this is good purple. that's a lot quicker than coloring or cutting each individual color out. You just put them here, and you can see that like little bit of texture you get when you use the marker. Once it dries, it'll like even out a little bit. I'm just gonna take them off my mat so I can glue them onto my vase. Okay. I'm just gonna put glue down on this half. Do a little bit at a time. I'm gonna start at the bottom edge. And go around. This little bit off here. And if you want to, you can use that same marker just on the edges, just to help blend that in a bit. There. And then no one will ever know. And we'll cover that little bit in the middle with the sentiment anyway. That's just a user error in alignment right there. Put these markers away. Okay, and then I'm gonna go get the shadow layer and then add that to it so I can put it down on the card. Just gonna glue this. I'm gonna prop this up on foam tape for both this layer and this shadow layer, just to give it some extra dimension. Okay. Oops, click out a little bit there. Okay. There we go. Just a very thin shadow layer, just to give it a little bit of a difference from the base. And we're gonna add some more tape to this. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna put it on straight. That was not my original plan for this one, but I think straight in the center would be best. Use my grid mat to line it up. Make sure it's fairly even, top and bottom. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to glue this right down to the card base. when I line up card bases, I usually look at these corners here and make sure that they're like on the same angle. So I would make sure that this lines up well here, this lines up well here, and then just make sure you get your even border all the way around. Okay, now we're gonna add the sentiment. I'm just gonna use a scrap piece of cardstock here, which I've used to cut out. Stamp this down. But instead of dye ink today, I'm going to use my pigment ink. So I'm using First the Vine Claire Nocturne ink, because I find that these labels get a better stamp with that. Because it doesn't bleed like a dye ink would bleed a little bit. Dye ink bleeds a little bit just so that it helps blend the color. I'm just going to stamp that one more time. Because now it's a little bit wet, so I'm going to try to dry it. And I think I'm gonna, excuse me, cut this out with my scissors. Just gonna leave a bit of a white border all the way around. Normally I would use a paper trimmer for this, but it's a little bit too small to be playing around with. So I will do my best to cut this straight. Man, that's not bad. So I think I'm going to do another layer of foam tape. Okay. Again, we're just going to center it, but I'm going to center it on that line so it covers up that middle section. And that looks pretty good. Right there. You know what? I played around with some sequins. I didn't like the layout, so I'm just going to leave it as is for today for this card. So I'll link all the products in the description down below. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you. Bye.